our previous guest. His wife was sweet, though.
With the puffy sleeves.
You're going to make her self-conscious about it.
No, she was joking about it. I was like, it's very cute, Charlie. Carl, you look great. You look great. How are you guys? How's the week started?
You want to take this one? She works harder than I do.
I understand.
No, I don't know about that. It's a great week. I was talking to my mom today, and she asked how our day was. And every day is a good day. And some days you just don't do anything that your routine is supposed to do, and it's still a good day. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Yes. We probably need to hear a little of that every now
That's
and then.
the eloquent wife answer that like every husband's like, I should give that answer, but I'm not here to give that answer. So my week has started turbulent and busy.
Mm-hmm.
Still good though, like she said. It's yeah. I'm a SAT word savant on this show.
He does rock them out, I have to say.
Don't
CT,
know.
SAT, MCAT, LSAT, whatever it might be.
That's right. This
breaks them out.
curmudgeon here has some nice vocabulary words. But yeah, no, we had a bunch of busy days, 2 busy days to start the week. We're back on our Tuesday filming, which is fun. But I'm already exhausted and ready for Friday, so I'm not the only person who's going to listen to this who's thinking, I agree, 100%.
Yes.
I am going out on a limb here to all our listeners saying that the next time we're in this garage, we will be toasting to an Auburn victory over the Georgia Bulldogs.
Sick.
Yep. Just letting you know.
Sounds great to me.
It's going to happen. Night game, Jordan Hare. It's going to happen.
Someone asked me about it today, and I said, on Monday, you told me, oh, we got whooped. I'd be like, yeah, sure. But if you told me, oh, they won, I'd say, yeah, I can see it. It's just one of those things,
Being an Auburn fan.
Classic.
You have to be ready for either.
Yeah, Tess was talking to your wife the other day. You can say how it came up about like, did you know anything about football before your husband came along?
We were talking about fantasy football, and Lucy had asked, before y'all met, did you knew a lot about football? I was like, no, Lucy, I didn't know anything about football. And I still really don't, honestly, don't, but fantasy football, yes.
Lucy's come a long way. I'm very proud of her. We've molded and crafted that brain. She's saying flag, impressive. Because when I met her, she didn't know what a first down was, didn't know you could do 3 points from a field goal. We've come a long way.
It's all fun and games until your wife wins your fantasy league.
Yes, she's never taken that plunge. Have you won the fantasy league, Tess?
My first year.
Mm-hmm.
Rock on.
She did.
My friend's wife, Stephanie, she has done that twice now. Very impressive. And my buddy Frank's sister has won it 2 or 3 times. I mean, yeah. So you girls can take it down sometimes.
For all my Catholic dads out there struggling to start your fantasy season, I consider myself a great fantasy player, and I'm a combined in 2 leagues, 3 and 6.
Nice.
4 and 6.
So I lost by 0.08 last weekend, so very exciting.
Wow.
Yes.
You took it like a champ, I bet.
It's just, well, I say in college it's just 20-year-olds playing a game. NFL is just 25-year-olds playing a game, so it's all good.
And fantasy football is a bunch of 35-year-olds who never stepped foot on an NFL field.
You got it. Now that's checked.
How's your week been?
It's good.
Almost Tuesday.
It's all right. Tuesday's come and gone. Happy Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary. Lucy and I are doing a rosary every day for October. So far, so good. We've stuck to it. I feel like we've got some small graces from it already, from Our Lady. She always takes care of you. Week's good. Pretty status quo. Lately the past couple weeks, everything's been really dense at work. Just people are sick. They have a lot of chronic problems. There's a lot of wheat you got to sift through. And it just takes some time. Sometimes you kind of feel like you're clawing through each visit a little bit. And that's fine. You do it. But some more complicated folks recently. Not bad, just a lot going on, And I do my best to serve them. But yeah. Folks, it's Alex's show tonight. And by that I mean it's not about me. Welcome back to the garage, the Catholic Dad Pod. Episode 27? Is where we at?
27.
Sick. Good number.
Mike Trout.
True.
Jersey boy.
Okay, I didn't know he was from Jersey. I could see it. Right on. Ryan texted me 2 days ago, said, "What are we going to do?" And I said, "I'm going to interview you, Ryan." And then I said, "We could have Tess come on too if she wants to join. I think that would give this episode its full fruition." And he told me yesterday that she was signed up. So I gave a big Napoleon Dynamite yes. And
she's only the second repeat guest we've had.
That's true. That says something.
Yeah. Your wife still hasn't come back to join us. We're mad at you, Lucy, that you're not here right now.
But like I said, this one's about you guys. So I get to Walter Cronkite it up. For those of you who get that reference, good job. And here we go. Folks, we are here in the garage. Hashtag 2 dudes and Tess in the garage. We love you. We're here to talk about their son. I'm very excited to talk about him. Tess and Ryan's son had a big event this past weekend, a monumental day in any person's life. The first birthday. And as many of you know who listen to us regularly, Dean's life has been, it was eventful to start. And we're not here to rehash that in great detail. We're here to talk about him and the Milana family and Parenthood and how the first year has been. So we're going to get started. I'm very excited. So first off, I want to know, how was the day? How was the birthday? How'd it go? How was the party? Was it fun? Let's talk about the basics first.
It was beautiful and exciting. And of course, like any good party is, you're whizzing around that whole day, trying to make sure that everything comes together the way that you want it to, and trying to make sure that all the guests feel like they've been taken care of, and that, you've anticipated everybody's needs and all those things. So it was the typical tornado of planning something, especially, I really enjoy planning things. So our goal was to keep things pretty simple and low key. And it was, I would say it was, but it, details just come up.
The balloon arch could have been bigger, I guess. I don't know.
All cute things. And you're like, I mean, what better occasion for a balloon arch or for little tiny hay bales?
Yeah, the hay bales were legit. Not gonna lie. I sat on one.
You have to do it. You have to do it.
You have to do it. You have to do it. However, I did exchange a text message to Tess earlier that day. Like, I thought this was like a simple barbecue, and it's just like, when are we going to get the hay bales? And I need you to do this, this, and this. And yeah, it was a beautiful party. The guests were awesome. We had some family that was able to make the trip down from, the Carolinas, and all of our friends, both from church and outside of church, kind of getting to come together for the first time. That was kind of fun. And, getting to introduce some of y'all to different parts of our lives. Mm-hmm. So it was really, really special, and everybody being there to celebrate a strong little boy. So
that's right.
It was really, really a beautiful day. We, it tests the communication and stuff leading up to the first birthday party, but we got it handled. So it was a beautiful, beautiful day.
Got to see your boy place some yogurt on my son's skull, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It was yogurt, right?
It was Greek yogurt.
Sick.
In the
smash cake. The smash cake, you guys, was awesome.
But he gave a big, what do the students say now? Head top?
Yep.
Head top, straight onto
well, of course,
to his head.
My older two are like vultures, just circling your boy in his chair, just older, closer and closer, just trying to steal. I'm like, guys, no.
What's so beautiful about that, though, and like, it didn't even cross our minds until afterwards. Like, we were surrounded by all the children as soon as Dean started with his smash cake, but it was so beautiful. It was honestly touching. Like, sweet. Y'all are such a part of his life, like, and your kids, like, he adores them. So I just thought it was so fitting, and seeing the video of the different babies swiping a little bit of the icing or trying to
there's a video of Alex when he comes up to get his daughter, and I had just like broken free a little piece of the actual cake, and so her head leaves the frame but you see her arm reaching like she's being removed. She's like, no. And she grabs that piece of cake before
She
you
did.
grab it.
Oh gosh, yes.
She's dedicated.
Yeah.
She was dedicated.
We had to get the baby wipes out to wipe off my middle child's head, and they were just swiping, and the fingers are great. There's this awesome picture of like their boy eating and like pointing at my middle child, and he's getting topped on the head, and I'm like, oh, mouth half open. My daughter is like yogurt all on her lips, just looking at the camera. Ryan's just looking down like, Tess is like, to the start to stop him. And
It looks like
there's
a
a lot
fake
of
photo.
there's a lot of moving parts. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's 100% legit. It was a good time.
Yeah, Tess got on me because I'm like the only one in the photo who's not called to action. I'm just watching.
Someone needed to be like that.
He's frozen, just like, wow, this is crazy. And both of us are like, we have to fix this.
There is that moment though with kids of like that like 0.5 to 1 second of freeze where you have to like process every single bit of what's about to happen, and then you can finally move again. Because like one time my oldest like fell off the bed right in front of me essentially, and it was like that, oh no, and then she was too late. That I didn't like not try to let her fall, but sometimes they just fall. I mean, what can you say? Or put yogurt on someone's head. It's all good. Yes. It was beautiful. And the weather was great too. I know the weather's boring, but man, it was nice. It was really good.
Did the kiddos sleep well, wearing themselves out on the bouncy house?
Yes, as in they slept through the night. They've been on a kick lately though of like the older two of waking up at like, let's wake up at 5:45, or
it's
6:05. And so they did that, but it was okay because we had to get up for mass anyways. They probably woke up like 15, 20 minutes early. And I managed to get them down for a little bit longer to get some things ready and then, get up for the day. I think my eldest fell asleep for a little bit longer. Middle one, definitely not. But it's all good. Ain't nothing we haven't done before. We'll get to more of that, I'm sure, too. I was thrilled to be a part of the party and be there. And obviously we knew we would be. It was just a lot of fun. It's just fun getting together always. When y'all woke up on his birthday, I can imagine that there were probably mixed emotions, much more good than bad, of course. And I'm not even, bad is a strong word, but I'm only guessing when I think maybe joy, gratitude, maybe even a little bit of anxiety and the reflection or remembering, that day and the events of it. As much or little as you care to share, how was it waking up on that day? What were the main thoughts there?
So I was thinking about this. The day of his birthday was also the day of his party. So I did not think one little bit. There was no like solid, like, moments of solitude to like really reflect and ponder or anything like that. But I was telling Ryan before, but while we were eating dinner, the night before his birthday, I was nursing him before he goes to sleep, and he has this little like sound machine nightlight thing, and we've got the little statue of Mary next to it. And I'll pray with him a lot of times, or, after we're done praying together, I'll just kind of pray to myself and reflect. And it dawned on me that, a year ago, we weren't sure if we were ever going to have a baby, even sleep in that crib. Like, and it just, so the day of his birthday was very joyous and very just, filled with our loved ones and, special moments. But the day before, it really hit me, and I just like let that kind of wash over me and just kind of just be filled with gratitude to be holding him, this giant 1-year-old baby in my lap. And just think about, not only did we get to take him home, but just what a full year it's been and just how amazing he is. And then Sunday, the day after, it hit me too. And it always is when I receive the Eucharist, when I don't even realize I've been holding on to something. But after communion, when we get back to the pew, I just lost my mind, just lost it. And not out of sadness, but just out of like, wow, like, thank you. Just grateful.
Yeah, there were moments for me too. Just when the mind would travel back to a year ago. And it was a quick, sort of anxious, sort of just It's hard to explain, but I had the overwhelming majority of my emotions were just gratitude and like just having everybody there. Here's my lava lamp analogy again. Like Tess is feeling the depth of all these different emotions and this wide spectrum of things. And I'm like, yeah, the small bubbles on the side, those are my sad reflection moments. But the big bubble in the middle is like, he's just so great.
He
Like
is.
he was just a happy 1-year-old kid. So yeah, it was definitely one of the most intense moments of gratitude that I've ever experienced, but all good vibes, at least for the most part.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly no blueprint on how you're supposed to feel. There's no right or wrong way. And yeah, I'm very, very proud of you both. Very, very proud of
Thank
you
you.
both
And we're
for
we're
all you are.
so grateful to everybody that showed up or couldn't show up, who's been praying for us. And um, the reality of it was when we started putting the party together, it was like if we truly invited anyone and everyone who's prayed for, cared for, helped us in any way, shape, or form, we'd have to rent a venue. Like there's just so many people across this entire country. So we love each and every one of you. And even though you may not have been at his birthday, even if you're a random listener who's never met us or him, um, you deserve to be invited to his birthday party just for praying for him because those prayers have been answered tenfold. So
What's so cool too is we are still I at least I'll speak for myself. I am still meeting people for the first time who upon meeting them, I've been praying for your son. Like I have your son's name on a list in my Bible or what, and it's just it blows me away. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
it is a lot of gratitude.
Do y'all look back on those days and the times and see God working even more at that time now? Are there things that have hit you 2 months, 6 months, a year later on at all? And if not, that's cool too. But just is there any new, Abach moments, anything like that at all?
So reflecting about this, thank you for the opportunity to reflect on this, by the way.
Oh,
This
of
has been
course.
very nice for us to get to like talk about this and think about it and pray about it. But we were talking about this beforehand. I think it was probably a full week. So after our son was born, he was in the NICU for 2 weeks. I think it took us a full week for us to realize, okay, our son's probably not going to die.
Mm,
And nobody outright said that. Like, we were kinda waiting on that, like, waiting on some kind of somebody to say, like, "Hey, take a breath, you're in the clear," and that never happened,
mhm,
but about a week later, we kind of realized, like, "Okay, this doesn't feel so emergent." Like, we
mhm,
think he's gonna live, we don't know what it's gonna look like, but we think he's gonna survive. That's a long time to go not knowing if your child is gonna that is it was such a prolonged period of like, deep sorrow and just anxiety and not really knowing how to proceed. So, to answer your question, like, having time to, like, really process, like, what that experience was, and also to be able to recognize, like, we were truly carried through all of that. Like, we didn't even really feel the full weight and the full heaviness of that until, like, kinda looking back at, like, "Wow, that was crazy." But, like, we didn't
mhm.
feel that at the time, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
there's a lot of ways I've seen and reflected over the last year how God has been working, how it has molded and changed me as a person, me as a husband, us as a couple. It's very easy for me to reflect and look back and see how God was trying to use that moment because when things went haywire the day of his birth, um, the subsequent days that followed were very easy for me to question God and get angry with God, as I've hashed out before on
Sure.
different episodes. And we've had plenty of talks, man to man, husband to wife, about my anger towards God and I don't want to say reluctance towards leaning on him and fully trusting him, but that almost betrayed sense that I felt back then of like, I gave you this. I put it in your hands and it was fumbled. That's how it appeared to
Sure,
me.
sure.
Um, but then it took him no time at all to be like, okay, but look, I am still carrying you through this. I didn't drop the ball, Ryan. I've got you. And now I have you and Tess both becoming the parents and the people that I need you to be to take care of this miracle boy. And so it's humbling to reflect on that, to look back and be like, I am the parent, the husband, and the father that I am. And I have the goal to strive to be every day only because of the tribulations and the trials that God carried us through. So in the blink of an eye, I went from, how could you do this to me, to, oh my gosh, you're doing all this for me and for us and for him. So again, humbling is like the only word. It's like no one is supposed to understand his timing, and especially in moments like that. And I don't pretend that people haven't had it worse than Tess and I have, and that our son went through. Loads of people do. And it's not easy to look up through the dark clouds and see that light shining. So give it time, because it took time, and it's super, super satisfying to see now. So yeah, I could riff on that all day, but
Sure.
that's my quick-ish answer.
Do y'all find that, well, I'll just put it plainly, this isn't on the list, this is new, but do you think you're better at hearing God's voice in your heart now than you were a year ago?
Hmm.
Hearing what he has to say to you.
So I think, I don't know if this is really answering your question. I feel like I've grown more in my trust of him than in my ability to hear his voice.
Okay.
Because like what you kind of alluded to with your response just now, like I gave this to you. I mean, we felt so called. Like we heard God clearly pointing us to home birth. And it's immediately very easy to look back and be like we didn't mishear you. We did exactly what you told us to do. So the issue for me, and I think what you're kind of saying too for you, is um we both learned that we needed to grow in our trust of being obedient and hearing, but then also if it doesn't go exactly the way that you're hoping, to just trust that it's still good and he still loves us.
Yes, ma'am.
Through all of this, I struggle, and I pray for more clarity to actually recognize and hear God's voice in my prayer life, to not be the busybody talking at God all the time. It's something I work on actively. But I will say I'm more apt to feel God's nudges
Mm.
in my day-to-day life, whether it's at work and like I'm about to maybe lose my patience with a student or a coworker or an athlete, or whether it's in our communication together. It's like more so than ever, especially growing over the last year since all of this has gone on. I do get that nudge that it only comes from the Holy Spirit of like, don't make a big deal out of this, or take a deep breath, or
Mm-hmm.
you really just need to go for a run, you cranky a-hole. Like just anything like that. So
On.
yeah, I feel his presence around me.
Yep.
But I'm still working on the truly listening part. I can't be the only one who struggles with that. It's
Oh, definitely not.
my
Far
mind,
from it,
man.
brother.
My mind is just a lava lamp, but it's still active.
It is. The light is on. It's smushing around in there.
It's heating up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't, I don't feel like I even got a grasp on hearing his voice until the past about year of my life. Acts really helped me with that, of course, too. And then, about a couple things in particular, certainly. But realizing, too, that like these pulls and like the light bulbs and the, like, most of the time they're not coming from me, by far.
We like to
And you
think
realize
they
that.
did.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I think a lot of people will say, oh, yeah, that was, but, I've had, I've had one too many of wait a seconds, and you realize, of course. So, no, that's awesome, you guys. All right. Well, to wrap up the first, third here, reflection on the birth and days, brag on your boy. How's he doing today? Just give us the quick update. Physically, all the good stuff. How awesome is he right now?
He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's great. He's Dean the Machine. Which nickname? We have.
That was the one I was
I'm the
thinking of.
machine. Literally, when he's eating, if he's being a little picky with his meal, start saying Dean the Machine. He'll grab a fistful of meat and just stuff it in his mouth, and he's like, I know that I'm supposed to eat now.
Gotta hype him up. I love it.
Yeah, he's great though. So when he was born, after the first week of like, okay, he's gonna be okay, he's gonna make it. Just as a quick refresher, we were super worried about brain function. We were very worried about his lungs, very, very worried about his arm. His legs were, there was a lot. And I got to say, I don't think any of those things are concerns right now. Like he goes through, he's like, we have an OT appointment just to work on like some
We haven't been.
grip stuff. But like every time we think something is lacking, God gives him the strength.
Sure, he blows out of the water.
Yeah,
He
no
really
doubt.
does. I mean, he's kind of a BA. Like and he's got such determination and just like grit, like which I feel like we noticed when he pulled out his nasal cannula in the NICU and kind of proved to everyone that he could breathe room air and he was fine.
Now that's checked.
And we were kind of like, oh, how funny, it was like a funny thing, and it was obviously lifted our spirits and made us really happy that, okay, cool, like we're a few steps away from getting out of here. But like looking back on it, it's like, man, he really is just that way. Like he's just going to show you what's up. He's awesome.
He was pretty cool. I enjoy him very much. I think he knows me now, recognizes me when he sees me, at least is like, I've seen this man before. He is not an enemy. That's a win with a baby.
Oh,
check.
Wow.
Woo. Okay. So many folks listening right now, I'm sure, know something about the first year of parenting. It is quite the time of change. I also think in some weird way, it's very simple, just like it's very complicated in some weird way. And I think people probably understand what I'm trying to get to there, just because it's like, yeah, here's this baby. We need to take care of this baby now. You're changing diapers. We're doing feedings. We're doing, yeah. So year one, full of moms on call. Guess what? Alex on call, ready to answer all these questions. Oh man, geez, new venture. But also like sleeping, it ain't that simple. Nursing, it ain't that simple.
Yeah.
Pumping, it ain't that simple.
But we did our research. It had to be.
It had to be that simple. Yes. I mean, y'all have now got a year under your belts. I'm in the year one for the third time now, so I certainly identify with everything y'all have gone through. As far as the day-to-day stuff. So this is a humongous question that we could talk about for forever, but just a few thoughts as to how being a parent for a year has changed you. How has being a parent to a 1-year-old changed you?
So, and I am certainly not the first person to say this, but, before we had Dean, we were very, all into our faith, doing all the things, going to daily mass as much as we could, doing confession every month, all the things. And like thinking like, man, we've done a lot of internal work. Like we're ready. Like we are ready to be parents. And as soon as you become a parent, you realize, wow, I'm really super selfish and super prideful. And I care a lot about what other people think of me when my baby starts crying and I can't get him to stop. And everyone's looking at me like I'm a horrible mom. Like that's what I'm thinking. So, becoming a parent changes you because you are met with a lot of truth that maybe you weren't ready for. Like you think you're doing a good job. Not that we weren't doing a good job, but yeah, it was sobering.
A job unlike any other.
Yes.
Certainly. Yes. Yes.
I had done a lot of praying leading up to the birth of our son for humility, specifically the litany of humility. That's an extremely powerful prayer. We should post that.
We
on
should.
our socials for
I
anybody who's never done it. And I'm not trying to sound like some expert. I'd only done it for the first time, I think. couple years ago, maybe. I think you brought it home from a retreat or something, or some sort of teacher thing you did over at the parish. But um, I was always kind of looking for like how those prayers would be answered to grant me this humility, and then we had our son. So that was a quick realization that those humility prayers were just like they were definitely answered very, very loudly. Um, but in a different way, it has adjusted my priorities for sure. I no longer really am super career. Not that I was ever like a very career focused person. I don't think that I was. I've always tried, and I would say have done a decent job of prioritizing family first and faith first. But I had my aspirations and things like that, especially like as a coach, you're just competitive. And
Sure.
I want to be on the highest level, and I don't want to coach in college, but just I want to coach varsity sports, and I want to do this, this, and this, and be a head coach. And like I could give two hoots about it now. Like if it happens, it happens. It's like now I'm like, which day of the week can I rush home and have dinner and maybe like catch 10 minutes of him stuffing his face with some cottage cheese and then help put him to bed,
Gosh, jeez.
or, which night do I actually get to like, even if I don't see a son before bed, like which night do I actually get to sit and have dinner
Mm-hmm.
with Tess? So priorities for sure. And then another aspect I think that kind of ties in with the God nudges that I mentioned is
Mm-hmm.
just being more cognizant of the example that I'm setting in all settings of my life, whether it's work, home, coaching, you name it. I think of what Chase said in our last episode, and he was speaking of his kids and what example his daughter would see in a good, strong Catholic man. And although I'm not a father to a daughter, or, these are not my children that I'm coaching or teaching, but I do think of that often in the same sort of way of like, I need to set that example. He who leads a little one to sin,
It would be better for a
it would be
millstone. It would be better for a millstone.
that's my scripture reference here, my wife. So yeah, it's just been a whirlwind of things, but it definitely changes your goggles that you view life through, I guess.
Absolutely. I certainly identify with basically all of that simply because, the humility, you know, I think about something Father Peyton, $20 said, this was easily 2-3 years ago, but, most people, guys, become saints living their ordinary daily life. They go to work and they have their families and they take care of them and doing the right things, trying to serve people when they can. But there are times where really I say it more lately just because we have 3 kids at 3 different levels and they all challenge us in different ways. And I look up and I think, all right, you have to be trying to make me a saint right now. Like, you have to be trying. Like this is what this is. Sometimes I fail and I'm like, ooh, I didn't cooperate with that. Other times I'm like, all right, made it through. Even today, like she was fighting me on brushing teeth. Nothing crazy, but just particularly, and I know how I would have been normally, but today I was just like, basically I responded differently. That's the short answer. I don't need to go into great detail, but I was like, oh, good job, Alex. That was a step in the right direction.
The rosary.
I just picture, I thought about that. It's so funny you mentioned that, Tess. And I could talk about her for a very long time. But I just picture like a giant rectangular block of rock. And every little thing that happens is just God just chiseling this piece away. And it hurts. Some hurt way more than others, but it just is going to mold me into who he wants me to bit by bit by bit. And I just pray that I'm cooperating with that as much as possible. So yeah, I definitely hear you there. But you do absolutely look back and you're like, oh yeah, I just totally care about myself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I feel inconvenienced. I want to go do this. I need more time for this. And yeah, for sure.
Right.
It's so hard, but also so rewarding to like live in the moment, stay in the moment, enjoy the process of putting them to bed and doing dinner and trying really hard. I'll tell you, we're both trying really, really hard for sure. But also, like you said too, and I think I've mentioned this, you know, home is 1A, work is 1B. Like, no questions asked. Like, having children has very, very, has made that very, very clear. Very, very hardcore clear. So I'm thankful for that too. Absolutely. Love it. Love it, you guys. First year of parenting, how has it helped you lean on each other more? You're in this together. You took vows. This is part of it. So how do you lean on each other more? And maybe how do y'all lean on Jesus more?
Ladies
No,
first.
you go first.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't like this. You're supposed to go first. I mean, on a practical level, because Tess is home with him every day, I lean on her for everything as far as taking care of him and everything that goes into raising our now 1-year-old son. So she's a rock star. She's amazing. And I love you every day. And I'm thankful for you every day for what you do at home while I'm at work. But on a more kind of emotional level, I think at least me, and I'm sure plenty of fathers are sort of hardwired to be not as compassionate in different scenarios. And so just a minor example was the other night. He's been sleeping very well for a long time. Thank you, Lord. But he's been sleeping through the night anywhere from about 10 and a half to 11, 12 hours a night. So kudos, buddy. Keep rocking it. You're doing great. But the last few nights, like 2 out of the last 5 nights, maybe he's screamed, like crying, screaming, that rip your heart out of your chest type sound for the better part of an hour before he goes down. And that's just been really odd. And he's not sick. We're just, he's teething, of course. And, there's who knows what's going on. Maybe not. But we just come back to that. This is just one example. We come back to that classic argument between the two of us of like, she says, so what's our time interval? We're going to go in every 15 or 20 minutes. And I'm sitting there like, let him cry himself to sleep. We've been through the sleep training thing. That's how we got to this whole sleep through the night thing. He'll be fine. And then we end up locking horns again because it's like she's with him every day and like learning the ins and outs of his personality. And I'm not saying poor me pity party here, but I'm not. And so I have to have this moment of realization that like, yeah, she does know better about these things right now. And that's okay. It's not a shot at my fatherhood or anything. It's nothing about that. It's a simple matter of fact that she is the one person in the world who knows him better than anyone. And so I dug my heels in the other night and knowing she's already said like the first words out of her mouth were like, we're doing this again. And I was like, yes, because he should just be going to sleep without us. We're creating bad habits. And I lean on her, all of that to say, I lean on her for that compassion. And I lean on her for that sweetness that I don't always have. More ragged around the edges, she smooths them out and makes sure that my ragged edges don't irritate my son in ways that don't need to happen. Like, she's just the sweetest mother and the sweetest person. I knew that before she was even a mom. And she balances me out in all my errors. What did Chase say? She's the guardrails on the bowling alley.
Yes.
The
Doesn't let you
bowling
throw a
lane.
big old gutter
Just
ball.
making sure
Yeah.
I don't throw gutter balls. Yeah. Chase, you're wise beyond your years, my friend.
Take it and run with it, brother.
Okay. So I think, as a Catholic who is married, you learn very early on about the imagery of, Christ and the bride of his church. And you kind of, the imagery of Christ and his church and, bride and groom is very central. But I don't think I fully really like, not that I didn't see Christ in you, but like I didn't really fully No, that's bad wording.
Well, you didn't fully understand it, though.
I didn't feel the weight of that
Sure.
Married a
until
heathen.
I didn't feel the weight of that until our son was born. And it really wasn't until months after for me when the dust had kind of settled. Um, and I went to confession for the first time since he was born. It was right before I was going back to work um and I was given some pretty like cut and dry, like I needed to hear it. Father Gabe, he gives a great confession. I needed him to be direct with me. Um and he gave me a very good penance, but a penance that I was really scared of. My penance was to sit in silent prayer for 10 minutes, which, like, in theory, like, I've been to adoration. I am not a stranger to silent prayer. And his directions were just think about Jesus in your prayer. Don't think about anything else. And like suddenly when he said that, it was like all this pressure of like,
Mm-hmm.
I I'm totally screwed. So I went, into the sanctuary and I was praying, Jesus help me, Jesus help. I was so scared that I wasn't going to think about something else, that something else was going to pop into my mind and I was going to, it was just going to spiral. And so I'm repeating that over and over again. Jesus help me, Jesus help me, Jesus help me. And I realized, and this is after a very emotional confession about our son's birth and any kind of resentment I was carrying, all of that had been lifted. And as I'm saying, Jesus help me, and I always try to picture Jesus in my prayer with me in some way, shape, or form. And I realized in that moment that I was holding on to Jesus the way that I was holding on to Ryan when in our home birth. Like, and it was all of it, like, it was this really beautiful gift of like revelation of I've been here with you in your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And that feeling is just never gone, like it's never gone away. Um, and I'm really thankful for that. I'm thankful for you.
When you get a revelation like that, I can't imagine you'd forget it by any means. Wow. I just want to sit in that for a minute, to be honest.
I'm sweating.
Went from heathen to seeing Christ in me, just like that.
Just like 2 episodes ago.
It
Boom.
was beautiful.
Seeing Christ in others.
Getting all teary-eyed.
Good. We'll keep with the leaning theme. Day-to-day parenting is a grind. Y'all know that. Say no more, Alex. Check. We talked about leaning on each other, leaning on our Lord, certainly. Are there any specific things, events, trials of the day that you go into and you think, already know going in, I got to lean on you, Lord? Hey, I know when I meet this particular challenge, I am going to ask for help from this saint, intercession for this thing, something consistent you're aware of. So what is that thing and who do you ask for help? I want to hear about that.
Okay, I want to know your answer to this question also.
After y'all's, I will. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you want to go? No? Okay. So I'm gonna need to really pray and reflect on who I'm leaning on as far as like saintly intercession, because that would probably really help
Fair.
in those moments. And I've not thought to do that. So that's great homework. Um, for me, the moment that I know I need extra grace and I need extra everything from the Lord is from dinner until bed. We were literally just talking about the other day, and especially when Ryan's coaching or if it's just me. And even just having just one. I mean, it's just, that there's like a switch that goes off in your children after dinner, after they leave the dinner table until they go to bed.
The witching hour. Yes.
Well,
That's what people call it. I don't call it that, but that's what they call it. Yes. There is a switch. I know it.
Just use that term.
I know what you mean.
It's insane. I mean, I don't know, like a good, safe term to use to describe our son at that time, but like
Banana sandwich.
bananas. I mean, he's on one, and you're just like, where did this come from? You're chasing him around the house. Everything you just reset is totally, the play kitchen, all the food's dumped out on the floor again, and he's naked crawling around and you're like, "What?" And there's cottage cheese just trailing behind him. You're like, "What is happening?"
The cheese, the cottage cheese.
What is happening? So, yeah, I need any kind of tips on some saint to ask for intercession in that moment, but that's the moment, for me, and it's a popular one.
I think the moment for me is anytime he starts getting fussy, crying, and it amplifies any sort of tension between Tess and I. Like, we could be having the best day, and then when he gets worked up, and I know this about my wife, and sometimes I don't give her adequate enough grace in the moment. When he gets worked up and he's crying, and there's just all that stimuli around us, you're trying to put out this fire, and we're trying to have a conversation on the side, and it's not easy, and it's very, very overwhelming. And Tess will be the first one to say, like, I'm overstimulated right now. And I don't always just say, like, okay, I get it, I'll back off. Sometimes I'm like, well, you shouldn't be. And I don't say that out loud, but to me, it's like, deal with it. I'm talking to you. And so we'll butt heads again. So those are the moments where I call on St. Joseph all the time because of the silent service that he provided to our Lord and Savior and our Queen Mother Mary. I think about that constantly of just like, you are called to get them to heaven. You are called to serve them in any way, shape, or form. And you're not called to make it about you. And I make it about me too much. So in those moments, for sure. We also, I don't know if you want to tag in here. We also did a Marian consecration together. Big Chris Eversole gave us his book. So it goes through Louis de Montfort, John Paul II, Mother Teresa, and Maximilian Kolbe.
We did the one together with Maximilian's. We did his. Yep.
Okay.
It's great.
So this one goes through, it's, 33 days. You go 1 week dedicated to each of their teachings on consecration to Mary and their relationship with her. And then the last, 5 days leading up, 4 days leading up to consecration day, kind of goes through like the highlights and gives you different prayers to do and things like that. And it was beautiful. I very highly recommend it to anybody. But as we were going through that, one of the big things, and I remember texting Chris being like, explain this to me. Like, was not necessarily that you can't present intentions for prayers, but that you're just you're basically giving Mary the freedom, which, giving Mary the freedom sounds kind of strange, but you're giving her all your graces. Any graces, anything you've offered up, anything like that, like, she's the mediatrix. She's in charge of distributing these graces. And we've actually gone kind of on a funny ride with that, because when you read it, it's like, what do you mean? Like, I can't pray for someone particularly? Like, this is weird. And now we're totally leaning, to go back on the theme, leaning into that of like, I will bring up things that are on the forefront of mine or our minds and conversations. But at the end of the day, it's always, Mother Mary, I know you're going to take care of what's actually needed. Distribute this grace how you see fit, how your son sees fit, and let his will be done. So it's St. Joseph and Mother Mary. Who'd have thunk? Who would have thunk it? The two of them getting me through every single thing, getting us through every single thing.
It's your turn.
I'm just going to bore you guys because
Ignatius of
Shocker.
Loyola.
Funny you mentioned that. No. No, I'm literally just repeating everything you just said, Ryan. Okay. So I've said it before, Ignatius is one of my dearest friends up in there. So his prayer for generosity, I start almost every day with. It's my favorite prayer. It's, dearest Lord, teach me to be generous, teach me to serve you as you deserve, to give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wounds, to toil and not to seek for rest, to labor and not to ask for reward, save that of knowing that I'm doing your will. Amen. He wrote that. So I ask him for some help. It's simple, but it's great, man. At the beginning of almost every day. So of course I lean on my man. Shocker, like you said, the Holy Family is who I lean on always. When it's the sleep in the middle of the night, it's always Mary. Every time. I have my reasons for that, about. But I will never turn to anyone else first, at least. There are even like stupid moments where I'm just like beating myself over the head because I'll go in and it's dark and I can't see anything and the sound machine seems so loud, and you think for a second like, did I hear something? And you like try to freak yourself out for a second, and I think about her and it's silly but beautiful. I don't care what anyone thinks. Like, she just makes it all better. She completely centers me and calms me. And just 2 days ago, I woke up, going to the gym, like literally like in the chair, putting my shoes on, about ready to go. And number 3, we're going off. But Lucy has been in there twice already, and I'm like, I can't not go. I gotta be the rock right now. And go in there. I tried 2 different times to get him to stay down. Didn't. So I said, forget it. So I went in there, got him settled, actually sat down with him, and he stayed asleep another hour 15, which is what he needed. It's what my wife needed. What I do, I prayed the rosary, obviously. You know my reasons. But when it's the extreme fatigue and the sleep, the night, it's always her. She takes care of us. I think about St. Juan Diego. Am I not your mother? Are you not under my mantle? It's just whole new meaning with being a parent. Think about the Memorare, folks. If you ask her for help, she will never tell you no. So her. Now, when I'm being tested, when it's number 1 and number 2, especially giving me hell, really just challenging me, when it's one of those moments where I want to punt them, it's always Joseph. I need to shut up and get out of my own head and calm down and be the strong, silent type and think about my reactions, think about how I'm feeling. It's amazing how easy it is sometimes, and other times it's just insanely difficult. I mean, incredibly difficult. But I just love thinking about, I don't know why, this just with Joseph, it always sticks out to me over and over and over again about how an old, like, decrepit man didn't walk across the desert to Egypt. I know that's a pretty common thing, but like, he was this like rugged dude, man, who like did this stuff and like probably got married up in the middle of the night, was like, we got to get out of here. Like, they're coming, they want to kill our son, and like went and got them across and with a donkey and, nothing, very little, I imagine. I just love that image of like walking through this like desolate land. And he, I think my own father too, like he just took care of us. Joseph just took care of them. And, so yeah, when I'm being challenged, I find that he just thinking about like the calm, cool, collected, he just kind of helps me center myself. I fail, of course, I do, but it's him. It's like you said, it just makes too much sense. Yeah.
That's good.
I called on Mary the other night when it was my turn to go in when my son was having a little fit. And Tess said, baby, you got to go in. His arm is stuck. And I could barely make it out in the monitor.
Oh, yeah, man.
And I'm like, are you sure? She's like,
He's screaming.
She's like, it's stuck. So I'm hauling ass across the house. Like, I gotta go save my son.
Save my son, yes.
I get to the door, no hesitation, straight in, only to find out that the second I walked through the door, I couldn't see, like you said,
You're blinded by the darkness.
nothing
Blinded.
in
Yep.
my eyesight at all.
Mhm.
He's literally standing at the front of the crib by the time I get to the crib. Arm's not stuck. He's just like looking at me like, gotcha.
Gotcha. What's up, Dad?
So I pick him up. He proceeds to have an epic meltdown because I'm not mom.
I know what you mean.
And I put him back down. He's screaming. I close the door behind me and I go out and I'm like, oh, that was a nightmare. And she's like, his arm wasn't stuck. I'm like, I figured that.
Meanwhile, I'm watching it on the monitor, and as soon as he opens the door, our son whips his arm out,
Oh,
and
yes.
I just see Ryan tapping because he can't see.
Yo, you're blinded by the darkness. It's incredible. I don't get it. Oh, yes, I know.
Sorry, honey.
That's awesome. That's just good stuff right there.
Your reaction time is going to be a little bit slower next time, I would venture to say.
There are times, too, where you're like, patting him, I think he's going to sleep. And then you realize, oh, he's just arched, just looking up at you the whole time, like, what are you doing? Like, let me go. Or like, get out of here. I'm like, oh, my bad. I just leave, It's so good. It's so good. That's awesome. Nighttime is just so interesting, y'all. It really is. It's just where all the real hardcore adventures happen. How has becoming parents changed the way you handle conflict?
I feel like we're a little underqualified to be answering this question.
Well, if
On
they're
child number one,
It's a work in progress.
understood.
So I've referenced like the amplification of any kind of tension when things are hitting the fan.
Yes.
We're sort of coming to the realization of how important it is to preemptively communicate when that's happening.
Mhm.
So, and when I say coming to the realization, I mean like we're just now putting this in practice. So we're not lecturing anyone. Like, we're learning on the fly, guys. The other day, just getting ready for his party. I think it was the morning of his birthday. And it was sort of your snowball effect of, okay, well, we have X, Y, and Z and A, B, and C and all the other letters of things that we needed to get done. How is it going to happen? His nap schedule is this, and it was supposed to be that. And like very quickly, my responses were being met, not ideally. And then Tess was trying to just map out the day, but I'm taking things personally, and we just slammed the brakes on it and audibly said to each other, we're starting to bicker. We're coming at each other right now. There's no need for that. Let's stop. And we just took a breath. And thankfully, right after that breath, we came up with a pretty good plan. Otherwise, we might have needed another breath.
Nailed it.
But that has been, I think, the biggest test for me. I think both of us. We never had communication issues. Okay. We never fought.
Literally ever.
Really wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
And, we'll have our arguments, but pump the brakes. Chill. Like, talk.
Yeah.
Don't be so quick. Be more like Joseph. Call on Mary to help your marriage at that moment, or just invoke the name of Jesus in your communication, I guess. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
There is no conflict, though. Like, I think that a lot of people can probably relate to the like, oh, well, we didn't fight before we had kids. Because you might think that you have conflict, and maybe some people, I don't know, maybe this is naive of me to say, like maybe some people truly do have like serious conflicts that they're working out before they have children. I'm sure that's true. But there's no conflict like one with a screaming baby in the background, or when you haven't slept in 3 days, or like
amen, girl.
Everything is just so much like it feels like life or death.
Yeah, it feels harder.
It feels like, and it's not, but you don't have the wherewithal to tell yourself that. So I was really proud of us the other day, because I think that is the first time in a year, literally a year on the day to the day that we said, "Stop. We need to stop. We're getting a little sharp. We're getting then there's, I'm not mad at you, you're not mad at me. Let's just time out." And it was great. We got to the end of the day and both of us looked at each other like, "We didn't argue today.
Exactly.
Let's bring it in." It was great.
That's lesson learned, growth, all
Yeah.
the good stuff, you guys.
No.
Awesome. And really, and part of the battle. I think a lot of things is the biggest part is just you recognize it. If you can recognize it,
Yeah.
then you can fix it pretty easily, generally,
Yes.
if you both have decent heads on your shoulders, which you do. So recognizing it, that's wonderful. It's awesome.
And I think the planning ahead. I think the planning ahead definitely helps too. Like of, okay, if we, thinking about things before they happen helps sometimes.
I hear you. How has being parents changed the way you view your own parents?
So when you're growing up, your childhood is about you, like
Word.
when you're young, everything's about you. You think that's what you think. But when you become a parent, you realize it really is all about them. And that means it's not at all about me. You don't realize, like, yes, it was all about me and what that was for your parents to give up for your whole life
Mhm.
until you become a parent. And it just makes you very grateful and like, wow, I really did not appreciate you enough at all.
My relation to my parents, my view of what they went through. So I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but one of my siblings had a very tumultuous start to their life. And so my parents had, I think, to be very honest, an even worse experience than we did.
Mhm.
Like, definitely. I think that's a definite true statement there. So it was sort of this like gut punch to my parents when everything was going on with my son. I think I remember calling that morning when I was on the way to the hospital. I had called Tess's mother and father, and I'd called mine, and this just like visceral reaction, like my mom just being like, "No, this can't, not again." Like she had gone through it, and my dad too, and I think of a night we had dinner with them when we were staying in Montgomery, and we're sitting at a pizzeria and having a beer. And thankfully, I think this is when
Mm,
our baby boy was kind of starting to hit his improvements,
mm,
and
Mhm.
we were really kind of seeing an end in sight. We didn't know when, but and really just got to open up about like how they felt going through all this and how similar the stories were. And even though they had different things, details wise, it was a really, really bonding and close knit moment with my parents that we got to share. So
mm,
that was really special. So now, like having gone through a fraction of what they went through, um, gosh, the respect level and like
mm.
the courage I know that they both have to go through all that. And so it's been very eye opening to see my parents in that light through our own experiences, I guess.
Mm.
Right
Do
on.
how has your opinion of your parents changed? Since-
I feel like I probably haven't reflected on that enough. I
Mhm,
owe them more than that, I
mhm,
think, than what I've given them. I mean, um, it hits me very strongly in doing little day to day things. I'm just like, wow, you guys did this just so much or so often. Or I see folks who are a few steps ahead of us, like you, all the like commuting and hours and like Saturdays at wrestling tournaments and like it's just
mhm,
these whole like big things, like you just you think about time and life and all that you need to do and have to do, then all this other stuff your kids throw at you too, and just and we were good kids. all three of us, like we didn't give my parents too much crud, like it was, um, they faced their challenges. And then you think about, I think about notable challenges my parents have been thrown with in life, and they've seen them all through, every one of them. Um, it certainly makes me appreciate their marriage. Just been married 35 plus years. That takes time, effort, commitment, all that stuff. So marriage certainly, and then yeah, just the constant love and dedication. You just feel it more, see it more, appreciate it more. But I know I have much more to learn. I have much, much more to be able to get it more that I have to go through. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's always fun to see everybody get a promotion though, and become grandparents. And
I told you, Alex.
Alex did say before we started recording that Dean never makes a peep while we're recording. And even though, audience, you won't be able to hear that, he's peeping.
it's not real, you guys.
Oh gosh, he's actually getting up. He's got to have a poopy diaper.
If I go in there, just throw him for a loop.
Pause.
Ooh, curveball.
Welcome back, folks. Status update. My son is not asleep. Alex, I don't believe in jinxes, so we're not going to blame you.
All right, folks, look, at the end of the episode, I'm going defense mode now. Jokingly, of course, it's all good. But Tess asked, well, where do y'all keep the monitor when y'all record? 'Cause sometimes, she's not here, she goes to bed. And I said, oh, it's over there, or it's right next to the computer. I said, but honestly, like, we never really need it. Like, he's always done great. And she said, well, why'd you say that? Like, I said, it's not real. Don't worry about that. It's not real. And he wakes up tonight. So
not only did he
moving
wake
on.
up, though, he's just sitting straight up and waiting on Uncle Alex to go get him.
That's right.
Currently staring at the door, waiting for his mom. We did toss up the idea of sending Alex in there.
I would do it. It's up to them, though.
Just to see what happens. I think it would probably go as well as it does when I go in there at this point.
I understand.
If you're not mama,
yep,
they'll go in there.
No, my son be arching his back, looking back at the door like, where the is mama? Exactly. Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we'll update y'all next week on whether he went to sleep or not.
All right. We're gonna finish this off, folks, so they can go be parents, the wonderful parents they are. But we have a few questions, and we're gonna bing bang boom them. Let's do this. All right. Okay. How does parenting challenge you the most spiritually?
So we talked about this earlier today. Obviously, as a parent, you die to yourself, which is very hard because we're humans and we care about ourselves. But it's very easy. You hear people say, oh, I'll just offer this up, which is a good thing to do. But if that's all you're doing, if you're just kind of going through the motions and like, okay, this is really hard. I'm just offering this up. I'm offering this up. If that's all you're doing and that's kind of like the extent of your mentality and your prayer life through those moments, you might miss where Jesus is in that. Like if you just are kind of bearing down and like, okay, I'm just going to grit through this. I'm going to offer it up to you, Jesus. Like you might just miss him, standing right there, like trying to reveal something about himself or reveal something about how much he loves you or where, so spiritually, it's very challenging to do that because, it's a high stress, at least in your own brain.
Sure.
The world is still turning and everything's fine. Like he's perfectly safe and healthy and everything's fine. But when your baby's crying or when something's going wrong, it feels like you can't think about anything else.
A
So
big
to
deal.
train your brain to think like, okay, I am offering this up, but where are you in this, Jesus? Like, where are you? What are you trying to teach me in this moment? It's easier said than done. I'm preaching to myself.
That's beautiful. I love it. I need
Don't
some of
do
that,
it.
to be honest with you. I heard that, Tess. Yeah. I'm big on offering it up, but
Yeah, no,
yeah,
yeah.
I definitely think I probably miss it sometimes.
Me
So
too.
yeah, big on that. I hear that.
Mhm. I miss it too. Yeah,
Yep. Okay. Um,
this one's yours.
living the Catholic life, Mass every Sunday, confession, holy days, the seasons of the church. There's a wonderful, beautiful rhythm. Is there anything extra, any fun traditions you guys have? Just living the faith, stuff you're trying to set up for Dean and for you guys. Anything you all want to share?
There are definitely like ideas and things that we look forward to, things that we see, and we're blessed, so blessed to see your family and the families that surround us day to day in our parish and in our lives that you are all establishing, like that we truly will strive to emulate one day. We look up to you guys in so many ways, despite our ages or whatever, just the way that you've all been able to navigate your family life and your faith in your children. But our son is younger. He's one. So at the stage we're at right now, yes, we have plans to do all that stuff similar to you guys doing right now. Um, right now we're just like it's about exposure, hot take, put some Catholic stuff around your home. He's got more books about saints and about Jesus and Easter and Christmas and everything in between. He's got toys to play with. He's got his little chewable rosary. He's just surrounded by it. And I'm sure somebody out there is gonna be like, "You crazy brainwashing parents." No, this is literally what we're called to do is to lead our children to heaven. So he's gonna hopefully, like you've said on this show before, Alex, I want my son to know how seriously I take my relationship
Mm-hmm.
with Christ, how seriously Tess does, how seriously we do together, and how personal it should be for him as he grows up. So
Absolutely.
at the stage we're at now, we're aiming for developmentally appropriate Catholicism, I
Love it.
guess.
That older set was pretty sweet, not going to lie.
Oh yeah, so
Awesome.
quick, his godfather, my brother, bought him an altar set, a wooden kind of Montessori esque altar set with the wine and the water and the Eucharist and the candles and the cross and everything. It's just amazing. Thank you to my brother.
Have y'all checked out, watch out for the chicken feet in your soup yet? The book. Is it
Oh,
not
dude,
amazing?
he
It is
loves it.
amazing.
He loves it. But the other one, I think he even likes a little bit better.
Which one? Oh,
The Leaf Thief.
Leaf Thief. Man, number 1 and 2, love that book.
It's so cute.
It's great. I read it very animated, like extremely. So you could really go all out with Squirrel, and
Oh, yeah.
it's super fun. Yeah, super
There's
fun book.
there's different voices
Yep.
you can definitely do.
Oh yeah,
I think though, I think we underplay exposure. I think that we think that because there's a temptation to think that like, oh, because I'm not just like really doing the most, like it's not enough. Just having it out and I mean, think about it. Like the reason we have statues and the reason why we have images in our home is because we're humans. We forget. We get caught up in the nitty gritty, and it's nice to have the visual reminder. It does so much for them. Like Dean kisses every picture of Jesus in any children's book.
wow.
Not and I did not teach that. Like neither of us taught that. He just started doing it one day. And like not the other pictures, not the other apostles, Jesus. And he'll look at him and say, "Da?" And he wants me to say, "That's Jesus." And he rubs his face on the picture like
Wow.
he's a it goes and that is not I'm not tooting my horn. I did not do that. It's literally just we go to mass and we
Mhm.
have images and I mean,
We walk into mass and the Sacred Heart stained glass. Dean likes to go up now and give it a hug and a kiss.
Oh
and
yeah.
we like to make the comment jokingly, but not so jokingly, that Sorry, guys, he just laid down. We make the comment jokingly, but not super jokingly, that like our son recognizes Jesus and recognizes Mary from what he went through. And I like, there's no factual basis for this whatsoever.
Sure.
But he has this Mary blanket, and we have multiple blankets, but like this is the one he wants in his crib.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of folded up in this perfect little way to pull up over him when he goes to sleep. But as soon as he gets down in his crib, he gives Mary a kiss. And it's the same way he does it with Jesus. And it's just like, we like to think that Mary and Jesus were like just holding his little baby hands those 2 weeks of chaos.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, all the rest he was getting, he was just chilling with Mary and Jesus the whole time.
Love it. Tess, you started staying home not that long ago. This was the year. Forget about money and errands and crap. Just how has it been being home with your son?
And it's the best. And it's really hard also, but it is the best. I was, we went to gala for our Catholic school at our parish, and obviously that's where I worked before staying home. It was really hard to, let that go and let that community go. But running into people who we know from that experience, and everyone asked, and my answer is always, it's really hard, but it's where I'm supposed to be. But it's really hard, but it's also just so joyful. Like whenever he makes me laugh or does something silly, I look up and I just say, thank you for letting me be the one who gets to see this. Like, because he's a joyful kid. He would, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to get to soak all those moments in with him and to, know him so closely. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
You're the one who is meant to see that all. In the past year, I'm not a super huge fan if it takes a village to raise people, because a village can mess people up too, to be honest with you. But I do think that if you have some really good people around you, it certainly can help the cause. So just, who have you found in the past year becoming parents who, outside of this house right here, have y'all leaned on, who have been the people, the best resources, the greatest comforters, advisors, prayer warriors, just, who has been there? Who have you leaned on? Who would you recommend people lean on? Anything like that?
This is a trick question, Alex.
I'm not talking about, no, I didn't think that I wrote this. No, I did not. I swear I did not. I'm not fishing. Okay. All right.
She's actually calling you the most conceited.
Good. I'm going to go home and say the litany of humility. That's right.
No, it just so happens that this is an important question to ask, and it just so happens that, of course, Alex and his family are part of it. Our families, for sure, have been every kind of supportive you can imagine in more ways than you can count. We love every one of them. But we also have truly, truly leaned on our friends and our faith community, whether that's the men and the families of the men who've retreated with us, or in particular, our core group at church, your family, and Megan Avery and Carly and Chase and Anne-Marie and Justin, and an extension of all the families that, we go to brunch with and we do all kinds of amazing things with. And we know without a doubt, there's nothing that comes up that you can't reach out to our parish group and find a resource for. For example, like we had a friend of ours who we know and are friends with, but I wouldn't say like they're as close as we are, reach out about some educational resources, knowing that Tess would know, some answers for things like that. Or I could call you up and be like, hey, I just bought a new smoker. Like I need help. Like there's a never ending well of resources that I have built into my life because of both of our families being so amazing. But then to add in you guys and the parish community around us and the prayer warriors that come with that, because that's just unbelievable the amount of prayers that get passed to our Lord for any number of things. Couldn't do it without any of y'all. He's back up
Yeah.
again.
I
Oh,
think you need
okay.
to go in there.
I understand. All right,
Okay.
we can wrap this up. Got one more thing, and then I'll let you guys go.
Well, but the one thing I want to say about the community,
Hmm?
because I feel like it's hard to know when you found the community, maybe until you have it.
Sure.
What I love about our core group is if somebody comes to the group, like in the girls group, for instance, if somebody comes to the group and says like, "Hey, like this is really frustrating me," whether it's like a disagreement with a spouse or a problem with a child, how you know you found your people is they're not just going to say like something to appease you. They're going to hold you accountable. Like I love that our group of friends, it's not just like, just like something that is going to make you feel affirmed or something like that. Everyone is holding you to a higher standard, and your friendship is truly rooted in Christ, and that's I love that. It's beautiful. I've never had it before, like to
Yes,
this
ma'am.
degree.
I am gonna go pick up my son,
All right.
and I might be back for the closing of this episode. But if I'm not, y'all are in good hands here.
Godspeed, sir. Yeah,
That's how it goes.
it is. I'll probably have to do that later tonight, so I hear that.
Y'all
Yep.
try to make it until 2, 3? What do y'all try to make it?
He's wild, man. He like wakes up at 11 and 2, 12 and 2, 12 and 3, or you know, 12
It's
and
just when he's
4,
hungry.
or yeah, basically.
When
Yes.
he's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Big
Or
boy.
like we haven't had a just once a night though in like a minute.
Mhm.
We've been 2 in it for a hot second, and then getting up early too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a stretch.
He hasn't seen his daddy though.
I hear you. I hear you.
The other night it was funny. Ryan went in the first time. This was during our discussion / argument about if we should just let him cry until he goes to sleep.
Sure.
And Ryan's argument, part of it was, well, I just went in there and I just made it worse. Like going in there again is not going to help. And sure enough, I mean, we set a 25-minute timer or whatever it was, and he went in there again and instantly fell asleep as
Yep.
soon as Ryan left. I was like, interesting.
You know
It's almost like you needed to go in there.
Is that the necklace Lucy gave you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Okay, you know what? So I meant to talk to her about this today. But it's hard when you have little children running around
Yes.
and demanding your attention. My sister's birthday is the 12th of October.
Okay.
I always loved her birthstone. I was always jealous of it. I'm like, I didn't even think about like Dean's opal. Like I can wear opal. It's so sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, hey, a little bit longer. Come on now.
Okay.
I got you. Tess, give me your proudest moment. When did you feel like you just rocked it as a mom? And maybe it's like a sequential thing. Could be multiple things. I don't know, but what comes to mind?
So maybe I feel like this might be a relatable thing, but when your baby is very young, I feel like you don't really get your head above water sometimes to like notice when you're like, oh, that was good. Like I should be pleased with that. But I will say recently, what really warms my heart and what makes me just feel really good about the connection and the bond that we have is because, his language is dada still for the most part. And
Yep.
there's different inflections and they mean different things. But he knows that I know what the different dads mean.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very sweet to see him this isn't really like parenting, but like it's sweet to see him say something and then I'll say what I think it means and his face like lights up like, "Yes, that's exactly it,"
That's
you
pretty
know?
cool.
And
Yep.
it's sweet, like, you know, and that's not really like a parenting or but it's a sweet moment that is like, "Oh, this is fun."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When have you been most proud of your husband? We can surprise him.
I have been most proud of my husband and the way that he, you know, he gives himself a hard time, I think, and thinks that I don't think he realizes how good of a job he's doing. And just in the simple, like he talks about struggling in the simple, like day-to-day mundane tasks, but every day that's just what I mean, it's just what he does. And he doesn't complain about it and he doesn't have a sour attitude about it. I mean, I haven't made breakfast probably in close to a year. Like, he makes breakfast every day for me, Dean, himself, and, like, every day. And it means he has to wake up earlier, and it means that sometimes he's a little bit later getting out the door than he wants to or what you know, whatever it is. But, like, something little like that. He just I don't know if he knows that I maybe notice, like, he just does what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Takes care of you. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And he's just really sweet with Dean.
So I know that, of
Yeah.
course. Absolutely.
Which in our core group of friends is not so, you know, all of y'all are wonderful fathers and it's great to see y'all genuinely want to spend time with your children. But in the, you know, not everybody's that way. Not everybody's blessed to have a husband or a father to their children who just genuinely like wants to just be with their, you know, and just spend time and do play
Sure.
on the floor for an hour
Yep.
and read board books. It's sweet.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, do you have any, it's sometimes you write questions and you think, this just sounds cliche, maybe, or are you like, oh, this is just like too easy of a question to ask, too difficult to answer? Because I don't even know how much thought I've given it. But do you have hopes and dreams for your son,
Hmm.
for your family? Do you want for him in some way? Any thoughts there?
I want so initially when I am thinking about this, I thought like physical, like, you know, I pray that like we have this OT appointment tomorrow just to check up on things. Like I
Mm,
just pray that physically he does not suffer any kind of ramifications from what happened to him at his birth. Like I
mm-hmm.
don't want that to ever hold him back. But like when I think about that more deeply, I want him to have the foundation to be able to weather storms and to know that God loves him. Like, I you know, I of course, I wanna say, like, I just pray he never falls away from the church and that he always is just, like, immersed in his faith and stay like, y that's all you can hope for,
Of
and that's
course.
what all of us hope for is that, like, if I love it enough and if I
He's back, folks. He's in the garage. And I'm looking at the monitor and he looks mighty still.
still you did it.
Nice.
I want the record to show that if this actually holds, this will be the first time I was able to put him down by myself since he was itty bitty. I'm sure the conversation has been fantastic, though.
It
I
has
got
been
some good
It's been
snuggles.
yes, indeed.
But I think that all of us, you know, Catholics who are bought into their faith, it's not a fear that your children are gonna fall away from the church, but it's like, I don't know, you just pray that that's not gonna happen.
Certainly.
But I pray that no matter what his journey entails, that he's gonna be firm enough in the truth that he will always know where his home is and know how much God loves him. What are your hopes for Dean?
Everything that my beautiful, loving, caring wife just said.
I'm only going to give you one more question then. When, over the past year, have you been the most proud of her as a mother, watching her?
There's a ton of moments. I think you can attest to that.
I definitely can. I've seen them.
Any husband worth his salt should probably agree with that statement. But I think days like today, where you get no break, and he's the cutest, most lovable little man in the entire world, but he just whittles you away to nothing. You have no energy left, but at the same time, it's like she was still there to check in on me throughout the day, still taking the utmost perfect care of our son. Dinner was on the table when I got home. The house didn't burn down. You're just anyone, stay at home or not, any mom that takes all that upon her plate and just chips away at it with a servant heart you're a hero. You're amazing. So yeah, I'm proud of you every day. I know that your wife does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know that all the women in our lives, friends, family, do the same thing. And it is truly remarkable. And there's a reason that only the women do it, because like we've mentioned before, man, God has wired us differently. And the things that my wife does on a day-to-day basis are just not. There's things that I could do, but I would be in need of a drink afterwards. I would be a little more worn down than she is. So.
Fair. Yeah. I hear you, brother. All right, you guys. Well, listen. One, thank you for humoring me. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for being open and reflective and vulnerable and, and being who you are. I love you both very much.
We love you too.
Love your son. And we've already talked about it, recently, but just, so much more to come, and time and grace and memories, and we're gonna go on this journey together and get where the Lord wants us to go. But time in the garage, whether we're cool or sweating a little bit, it's always well intentioned, a lot of fun, and I enjoy it tremendously.
I got the upper hand here tonight. I got to spend time in the garage with my best friend and my wife. So
boom.
This was a pretty good night for me. Yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in again. And don't forget, some of our supporters, some of those awesome Catholic brands we've been telling you about, Totally Catholic Tees. Alex is repping a super sweet Maximilian Colby t-shirt from our boys over at Sock Religious as well. Sock Religious, I've been wearing my mask socks all the time. So is Alex. He's guess who? Ignatius of Loyola.
Shocker. Wore me straight to work. Cool.
Socks.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, super exciting. And
you're good.
I think Tess starts us off with challenges. Nice. Is that how we're going to do this? We prepped, we went through some of the questions, but we did not prep Tess for challenges. So I'm excited.
We're always making them on the fly too. It's all good, Tess.
Okay.
I didn't think of anything beforehand, so I'm thinking
I'm going to steal a challenge from your wife, actually.
Do it.
Our girls group chat.
What?
Thank you, Lucy, for saving the day, because I'm hitting the panic button right now. This is in the same vein as when you're in the moment, in a heated moment, when you're parenting, you want to offer it up, and that's great. But your wife said that she is trying to do this, and it's really spoken to me as well, to picture Jesus. Like when your child is giving you a hard time, picture Jesus in the room with you and your children, and just notice, like, well, how is he behaving? What is he doing? And I'm sure that that's going to help. I need to do it. This is a challenge for myself also, but I can't imagine if Jesus is there in the forefront of your mind that things are going to get worse. So, yeah.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Lucy.
I make Alex go first all the time after you told me that I jump in too much. I think Alex has gone first like for 3 weeks in a row.
Y'all are one flesh, one body, so you just get to go next. That's how it works.
That's fair. I am going to just issue kind of a more normal challenge, but I have struggled. I've not had a good week, and I probably won't get up tomorrow morning either because it's a really late night. But getting up and exercising in the morning. So I'm going to issue a challenge starting on Monday of whenever you listen to this, the following Monday, go Monday through Friday of that early morning before work, wake up time, and get your exercise done. And I'll do it with you because I have slacked this week.
We'll do it with you too. Promise you that. Absolutely. It's October and it's the month of the rosary. Next week, you have to pray a daily rosary. Lucy and I are doing the full month, 31 days. So I can tell you we're already, 7 days in? Yes. And we have already noticed some small graces just, seeping in a really good way into our lives. And, Mother Mary takes care of y'all. She takes care of us, guys. So think about that. I honestly, if I'm speaking truthfully, hope that this just goes forever. I would love to pray one every day. And it won't be every single day, but it to be part of the normal routine. I just love that prayer. Love that prayer.
One of our retreat brothers was over for our little tailgate barbecue the other weekend. And he was saying how he prays a rosary every day with his wife. And I think my dad had asked him some follow-up question or something. And he said, no, I don't always hammer out the rosary on the weekends. Sometimes I give Mary a break from my voice or something like that. I just laughed about it. But that's really the only days that I don't always hit it. Sundays, especially, for some reason, it's like I go to mass.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just don't get to that Sunday rosary. But I've tried to hammer out a Saturday rosary, whether it's on a run or like on a drive or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Super fun episode. Thank you for the opportunity to have a little mini date night. And I think since it was about our reflections here, we're going to have a little throw off to see
both of you
who hits
do it.
I crumbled this up for you. I mean,
folks, thank you for joining us on the Catholic Dad Pod, in the garage, the whole deal. We will see you next week. Thank you for listening and joining us. You have our prayers. Please pray for us. Love you guys. And thanks again. God bless.
Wow, she airmailed it.
Ooh,
that was closer.
That was good.
That was closer. For eagle fly down the field, never to conquer, never to yield.